All right, today we're talking about push and pull. You've got your arms, you've got your back, and just your upper body in general. In our last video, we talked about the first two primal movements being squat and hinge. And if you haven't checked that out yet, feel free to. Pushing and pulling really set the tone for your entire upper body and really allows you to take the core muscles that you've hopefully been developing and use them more effectively. Plus, they build all the sexy muscles that we all know and love. Pushing and pulling are both very simple exercises. It's really easy to break it down into just horizontal or vertical variations, and it's important to include both. Pulling is actually a little bit more important than pushing because it helps keep our body balanced and pain-free. This is because whenever we reach for something, grab something off the ground, or even do most of our daily activities of living, we're using our pushing muscles primarily. The general recommendation is actually to do twice as much pulling as you do pushing. This isn't a hard and fast rule, but it's a good place to start. The only downside of pulling exercises is that you typically need a tool like a band or a kettlebell or a dumbbell to perform them. For pulling, the easiest way to start is with what's called a band pull-apart. These bands cost $20, and it's the first thing that I recommend buying for really anyone. This would be what's called a horizontal pull. You can typically work with around 20 to 30 reps, making it relatively easy and focusing on squeezing your shoulder blades back behind you. An example of a vertical pull would be what's called an upright row. This can be done with a band or a kettlebell or dumbbell. All you have to do is pull straight up, keeping your elbow above your wrist, and again, squeezing your shoulder blade. We'll lower the reps back down to 10 to 15 for each side for this exercise. For pushing, we've got the old classic push-up. It's the easiest place to start, but to be perfectly honest, push-ups suck. They're hard, and that's okay. Just because they're hard doesn't mean that they're not valuable. A lot of people miss out on a lot of the benefits because they make it too hard on themselves. To do this, scale the angle that you're using. Start really tall and work your way down as you increase in strength over time. Try to get at least 10 reps or even 15 with a really high angle and go from there. Shoulder presses are a good example of a vertical press, and they challenge your shoulder range of motion a little bit more, so these might be a little bit harder for some people. If you can't extend your arm all the way overhead, start with holding a weight there for as long as you can. Start light and focus on spending time in a difficult position rather than performing reps. Bands, dumbbells, or even the weight of your empty hand are all good options for this. Once you can hold your arm directly overhead with a weight, then you can start to challenge it with reps starting with around 10 to 15 again, which should be a pretty light weight. In our next video, we'll talk about lunging and twisting, so we'll see you there.